Hey guys, Marianne Elliott from 360 Solutions. Okay, this is a juicy one. Today we're talking about bridging. So first of all, what is bridging? Bridging finance is when you are borrowing money to purchase your next home before you've sold your current home. So it seems a little bit complex because at the peak of your bridging, as in the time when you've got both properties, you have borrowed a whole lot of money until you sell your current property and reduce that bridging loan, leaving you with just your normal home loan. So it sounds really complex, but let's go through some pros and cons. The pros to doing bridging finance are you can secure your next home before you've had to sell your current home. So a lot of my clients will say, I want to buy the next property, but I don't have the money to buy until I've sold this one, but I don't want to sell this one and have nowhere to live and not find the next property. Bridging will alleviate that. It allows you to buy the next property and then sell. The other thing I absolutely love about bridging loans is you can stage that property, move into your new home and settle in so that the agent can have free reign and do open homes whenever they like, and you're not having to shove the washing and the dog in the car every Saturday morning, get out of the house for an hour while there's an open home. So it leaves everything a lot freer. It also means you can empty all your valuables out of the home, and when people are going through cupboards and opening things, they're not going to find any of your home valuables because they've already been moved into the new property. So now let's talk about the cons, because with everything, it's a double-edged sword, right? And there are absolutely risks when it comes to bridging loans. The first and probably biggest risk is if you have an unrealistic view of what your current property is worth, when you buy the next one and then you go to the market with your current property, you may find you're having to take a lower amount if you need to sell within a set period. Typically, bridging loans will last 6 months, so you have 6 months to sell your property, but it can be pushed out up to 12 months. If you still haven't sold your property after that 12 months, the bank is then able to take over your marketing and your sale and sell it for as much as they can get. And you don't want to get to that point. So if you're doing a bridging structure and you have an unrealistic view of what you're going to get for your property, you could be setting yourself up for a big failure. The other thing to remember too is bridging is going to cost you more money. So you are paying effectively two loans. There's the end debt loan, so the debt you're going to be left with, and the peak bridging loan, so the extra amount of money you need to make it work until you've sold your current property. You're paying interest only on that peak bridging debt, so it's not principal and interest payments, but it is still extra payments you absolutely need to factor in for. And depending on the lender you go with, sometimes those interest rates can be astronomical and we don't get to apply discounts to them. So you really want to make sure you're comfortable with the extra costs. It's really important to make sure too that you've got a little bit of a buffer in your bank account to help cover you with those extra repayments whilst you're in that bridging period. But ideally, where I see bridging work really well is when a client purchases the next property and then gets a contract pretty much straight away on their existing property. So that bridging portion is really only there for a short period of time. So you might be thinking, I now know all about bridging. I just need to know whether it's going to suit me. And at the end of the day, it depends on your current situation. Not everyone can do bridging either. You need to have a lot of equity in your property. You need to be able to maintain those repayments, as I said, whilst you're in that bridging period. So it's really a case-by-case basis with clients that we go through to work out if bridging is an option. If it's not an option, we have other suggestions that we can make to help you still secure your next property. But what I would suggest is if you are wanting to buy your next home, but you don't want to sell your current home until you've found the next one, make sure you reach out to myself or Tara. I'll pop a link in the show notes below. Book a fee-free appointment and have a chat to us about all the things we would suggest if bridging's an option for you and what other options are available so that you can start to house hunt this weekend. So guys, other than that, that's it from me. Have a fantastic week and I'll catch you next week.